If you're unable to stand up straight due to lower back pain, then this video is for you. I'm Dr. Dave Candy, and in this video, I'm going to explain an often hidden reason why people have difficulty standing up straight and an easy exercise that you can do to be able to stand more upright with less back pain. Now, if you've watched any videos, including some of my own on being unable to stand up straight, you'll probably know that stiff hip flexors can cause you to have difficulty standing up straight. But there's often an underlying reason why your hip flexors get stiff in the first place. And for many people, that lies below at the foundation of your body, and that's your ankles and your calves. Just like any building or any engineering structure, if you don't have a solid foundation, then the structure isn't going to be stable. And the same thing applies to your body. Now, if you have stiff ankle joints or calves, it throws your center of gravity backwards. And if you were to stand upright, you're just going to fall over backwards. And so your brain will counterbalance you by leaning your trunk forward. Now, we don't like to stand bent over like this. And so you'll compensate by coming upright and arching your lower back. But that arching of your lower back jams the joints in your lower back together. And especially if you have degenerative disc disease or arthritis, that jamming together can become uncomfortable. Now, there is another way that your body can compensate for stiff calves, and that's by flattening your feet down and driving your knees inwards. But that position also causes an anterior pelvic tilt. And then again, you compensate for that by going into a back arch. So if you do want to be able to stand longer, more upright, and more comfortably, you need to stretch out both your hip flexors and often your calves as well. But fortunately, there's one very easy exercise that you can do to stretch both of those muscle groups at the same time. And here's how you do it. So you'll start out by bringing your feet out so that your hips, knees, and ankles are all in alignment. You don't want to allow your feet to flatten or your knees to go inwards. So bring your knees out so that your hips, knees, and ankles are all in alignment. And then make sure that your weight is on your heels. Now, if you're starting out here, you probably will be bent forwards a little bit as you're first starting this out. But get that hip, knee, ankle alignment that I talked about. Now, the next step is to roll your pelvis underneath of you and start to push your pelvis back over top of your feet. You don't want to allow your lower back to arch as you're doing this. So you want to roll the pelvis under. You should feel like your glutes are squeezing or working as you're doing this. And that helps flatten your lower back and keep that in a neutral position, as well as get your pelvis over top of your feet. Now, if you do have stiff calves and hip flexors, it's very likely that you'll feel a stretch in the back of the calves, as well as in the front of the hips or thighs there. And you'll also probably feel like your glutes are getting a really hard workout standing like this. And just practicing standing that way is a good stretch for the calves and the hip flexors at the same time. And that's how you can stand more upright without lower back pain. But what about walking? As you go to walk, you not only need to be able to have your ankles at a 90-degree angle, you actually have to get farther than that in order to be able to progress your body weight forwards. So you need a little bit more flexibility yet in your calves to be able to take a step. And just standing in this position with your heel flat on the floor of the back leg, the arch lifted, and then rolling your pelvis underneath of you is a good stretch for both your hip flexor of the rear leg as well as the calf of the rear leg. Now hold that position for about 10 seconds or so. Then take a step with the other leg. Again, keep your arch lifted, heel flat on the floor, and then roll your pelvis underneath of you. And hold that for 10 seconds. And then take another step. And just repeat so on and so forth. And so that'll help you to be able to walk with less back pain and be able to stand more upright while you're doing so. So again, to stand, turn your knees out so your hips, knees, and ankles are all in alignment. Squeeze the glutes and roll the pelvis under. And then to walk, you just add steps into that same exercise. So hopefully this was helpful for you, but just knowing the information is only half the battle. You do have to actually apply it. And that's where getting help from a professional can be helpful, not only to figure out what's going on, but also just to give you the motivation to keep going forward and doing it. And if you happen to be in the St. Louis area and you need some help to figure out not only what's causing your back pain, but also the accountability to make sure you do the things to get it better, we'd be happy to help you out here at More for Life. And no matter where you're watching this from, if you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified of our future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.